Howdy y'all. A lot of you complained about my what I thought was a adequately named video on how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Worst ever, I think is what I said. But based on your feedback, I will go ahead and try a little harder. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope you can solve it at the end of this. Thanks. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to do a quick scramble and then just solve with the cube, and this will probably be the worst instructional video you've ever seen for how to solve a Rubik's Cube. But if you just slow it down, you'll be able to, I guess, figure it out. Cool. So what I do is I grab it by these two tiles right here, and then I use my index fingers to just kind of trigger pull right and left. And then if you just keep doing that for a while, it just screws the whole thing up. So you can also do the same thing with the outer edges, and then just rotate it around, and then, I don't know, seems to be the fastest way to screw it up that I can figure out. I don't know, I see a bunch of pros like doing crazy shit like that. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find, oh, well, I actually did myself a favor here, but I'm going to solve the white cross first. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up that green and blue because I just happen to luck into that. But if you don't happen to luck into that, like I have in this case, here's what you can do. So the first thing that I see is I have this orange and white piece right here. Okay, so I am going to do a F prime and then an L prime, and then that lines up your orange and white centers with the edge piece corresponding. Then I see that I have the green and white going on right here, and that's actually a pretty easy transition right there. You can just rotate it like that. That one's just intuitive. Okay, then do I have any whites on the bottom? Okay, I do have a white on the bottom here. So what I'll do is I'll line that up with its corresponding color, and then I can just do a 180, and then you have 3 out of the 4. Next thing you're looking for is the other white edge piece, and it's right here. So red and white. You'll notice that there's a red center here, so if you rotate this guy like that, line it up, and then line it up with the white, but then you happen to take the green face out of place, but if you just undo that, then you have your white cross. A white cross there, and that all of the associated centers are matched with their corresponding edge pieces. Now I'm going to show you the more basic method. There's an advanced way that will solve the first 2 layers at the same time, but I'm just going to show you how to solve this first layer. So what you're looking for is a corner piece with a white face. So this one is white, blue, and orange. So what I do is I find the center that corresponds with the color that's right here if I have an outward, not downward, but outward facing white face. So once I have it here, I'm going to turn the bottom away, bring the side down, turn the bottom back, turn the side up. So it's 2 moves, and you undo those 2 moves in the same order. So now you have this corner piece in the right place. What I'll do next is I'll show you a way to invert the cube such that it also makes sense. Because I find it a lot easier to be able to see what's going on up here, because here you already have half of the tiles solved, so it doesn't do you much good there. So I do the same thing. So I have an outward facing white piece. I line up the green with the green. I turn it away. I bring the slice down that I'm going to put it into, and then undo, undo. You see you have your green, red, and white solved right there. And then I happen to luck into this where I have the green and green, and then the outward facing, and in this case not upward facing white. So turn it away from the slice I'm going to be moving down, and then undo, undo. Just the way I think about it in those terms. Okay, so we have a special case here where we have an upward facing white piece. So if you look at it, so this is all solved, right? If I do an R move right here, and then I do a U prime, and then I do an R prime, notice I haven't moved anything in the bottom layer, but I have moved this piece to be an outward facing as opposed to an upward facing, which makes it easier to put into the right place. So I'm going to do the thing where I line up the non-white color with its center, turn it away, bring the slice down, undo, undo. Now you have your entire first layer solved. Now we're going to learn how to solve the second layer since you have this whole first layer solved. So I prefer to have the yellow face on the up face, and then what I'm looking for is a T. So this is what I mean when I say a T. So I'm going to have an upside down T because it's going to have a corresponding edge piece that has in this case red and red lined up, and then green, which is going to be an adjacent face, so a non-yellow. I'm going to put it right here. So just follow me, and this is going to be one of the, I'll call it a right-handed move. So, and that creates your corner edge pair. Then I rotate it. I rotate the whole cube, and then I do another series of 4 moves that brings it into its rightful place. They happen to, oh no, it's not that simple. So then I solved that guy. So just watch it in slow-mo, I guess. All right, next thing I'm looking for. Okay, this is a special case because you'll notice that this has no yellow, that has no yellow, and that has no yellow. So we're gonna have to break up some of these, some of the first layer. So I'm gonna show you how to do a left-handed or left-sided one of these. So since I'm splitting these two tiles up, I'm gonna bring it up, do a U move, and then bring it down, which you can see that has separated these two. Looking for, oh, perfect. Should probably do like a GoPro view from my perspective. Ooh, that is, so I want this one to pair up. So I want the green and orange to pair up. Now I've screwed up 2 of these, but we can go back and solve those anytime. We're having to do some extra steps. So I noticed that I have it kind of already set up, but so I'm trying to put this orange and white and green face into here. So I'm going to pair it up with this edge piece. So if I'm holding it like this, you'll do L prime, U prime, L, and that will just grab it and put it in the right place. Now, we also screwed up this red, white, and blue. So I am looking for the red, white, and, oh, there it is. The red and white, or sorry, red and blue. So I'm going to take that out of its layer. And red and blue. Okay, well now they're touching each other, so that's not helpful. So if that's the case, if you have this situation, because I mean these are the 2 pieces that will be connected to each other, but they're in the wrong orientation. So you rotate the corner piece out, you do a 180 on the top, and then bring it down. So in this case, I'll show you. So you have an upward facing red, white, and blue. So you take the red and blue edge piece, put it above the corresponding center. So it's red and blue, right? So turn it away from the blue. Turn it away from the other color on there, and then rotate the upper layer until it creates the corner edge pair. Bring this down, which restores your white cross on the bottom. Do a U move, R, U prime, R prime. And now you've solved that one. And I'm basically showing you the advanced method accidentally anyway, since I had such a weird case. So I can actually already see that I have a corner edge pair here, and I just know that if I did this, it would be done. But the way that you see that is the same way that I was telling you to do it before in order to solve that first layer, is that you have this orange, blue, and white. You line up the blue with the blue, turn it away, bring the side up, bring it back, bring bueno. Actually, this one will be good from your perspective. Just grab that bottom layer. So I can make the corner edge pair, and there you go. So first two layers are solved. Okay, I'm going to walk you through a couple varieties of cases. I happen to know that when I see this one, I have this kind of upside down L going on. I can do a wide F move, then R, U, R prime, U prime, undo the wide F. So I guess wide F prime. Okay, and then that solves your yellow cross. Okay, here's another case where you're trying to make the yellow cross, and all you have is this yellow line that's going parallel to how you're facing it, not perpendicular, parallel. You want to do, and then I say I have a white line, so I'm going to do that's a front move, and then the sexy move, undo, and now I have the bottom cross, or we'll call it the yellow cross. Do an F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And then that gets your top cross. There's another special case where if you just have a dot, the way that I do this is actually a combination of the last two moves I showed you. So you do the F, R, U, R prime, U prime. And instead of doing the F prime and setting it up for the wide one, what you can do is you just leave that F face where it was, just do the center slice, and then do the RU, R prime, U prime, and then undo the big F, right? Now I mentioned sexy move, and I'll tell you what that is. So if you do the same rotation, RU, R prime, U prime, if you do that 6 times, it will just end up going back to where it started. Now, if you rotate the F first, do it 3 times, you get this. You get the yellow cross. So it's a very special case where if you see that you have headlights in both the front and the back, if you just do the F and then sexy move 3 times, and then undo the F, that'll solve your top layer. But that's a very special case. Okay, so the next thing you want to do after you have your top cross is it's going to be an R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Now that's not always going to solve it for you, so it's just going to be some trial and error, what it takes in order to get it. But if you do the same move enough times in the same orientation, it'll eventually get you where you want to go. Now I happen to recognize this is just the left-handed version of that, so hopefully I'll say this correctly, but I'll put the annotation up on the screen. But it's L prime, U prime, L, U prime, L prime, yeah, U2, L. And then that has solved your top layer. Now the reason I saw that, I'll do the same thing again, and I'll show you what you're looking for. So what I'm looking for is the cross on the top and then a headlight on my right, and then I can do the right-handed move. So if I see that it's on the left, so I'll just do the same thing, doing the right-handed move after it's already solved, you'll see that you have the cross with the headlight on the left, so you can do the left-handed move. Okay? Then you have everything on the top face solved, but you have, it actually doesn't normally look like that. So yeah, there you go. That's something that's a little more screwed up that you can, that you'll need to know how to do that algorithm, because you won't luck into that every time. So what you're looking for in this case is headlights facing away from you. Okay, so these two are the same color. Notice that these two are not the same, these two are not the same, these two are not the same. And then, if possible, it helps to have this one on the left matched up. R prime, F, R prime, B2, shit. Okay, Jesus. All right. How do I do that? How do I do that? Well, actually, that's not going to be a good case. Do this guy. Okay, cool. Oh, and then I already have, I got the headlights. That's what. Once you have your headlights, face them away from you, and then you're going to do this series of moves. R prime, F, R prime, B2, R, F prime, R prime, B2, R2. And then you should be able to align it such that all of the corners are now. The one other special case that you might run into is where you have only two faces that line up. So in this case, red and blue, and then green and orange line up. But these two are not lined up. So it's going to be F, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime, and then what you should see is a sideways T right here. And then what you do is sexy move, and then you do what's called a hammer, which in this case, you see this corner edge pair, we're going to bring it down. So R prime, F, R, F prime. But this is I guess you could call it a reciprocal move, because if you do it twice, it'll just undo itself. Now, all you're left with is either 3 or 4 of the edge pieces that are out of place. In this case, you have 3. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to rotate front face twice, so F2, and then I'm going to rotate the top such that the orange matches up with this orange, right? So in this case, it's a U2 move. Then I'm going to bring both sides down, rotate the front twice again, bring both sides back up, and then whatever move I did before, I'm going to do it again, so a U prime there. And then from here, it should be pretty apparent that you just need to rotate the front face again twice, and then the cube is solved. So I'll show you what that looks like in the case where it's the other direction. So the way to do this, if you have to rotate it clockwise, so that'd be a U move, is F2, U. Notice that the reds are both lined up. Bring the right and left down, F2, right and left back up, U again, F2. To call it, I'm gonna do the headlight move. Yeah. So then I just have 3 pieces left to solve. So I'm gonna do the clockwise version and done.